the black people in America must be the president of the United States of America, must be the secretary of state like Kissinger. They are more brilliant than Dr. Kissinger. Kissinger is not very intelligent. Kissinger always go to the weakest leaders. He never go to Gaddafi. He never come to General Amin. He fears us. Actually, I took this decision for the economy of Uganda. And I must make sure that every Ugandans get a fruit of independence. Since independent, actually Uganda is not yet independent, I will say that. Even when the British handed over on the 9th of October 1962, the Uganda still not yet independent. Uganda will be independent after this, my decision, after I want to see that the whole Kampala street is not full of Indians. It must be proper black, and administration in those shops is run by the Ugandans.
Would you like to get all Asians out, really, sir?
Yes, they must go to their country.
Even nationals of Uganda?
If they want to go, they are welcome to go.
What will happen to these people if they don't go by the time they're in?
I think they will be sitting like they are sitting on the fire. I will tell you this. You just wait after 3 months.
What will you do to them?
Okay, you will see.
You said you wanted Uganda.
I think they will not sit comfortably here in Uganda. I will tell you this. I must actually tell you the truth.
Have you asked the British to take them away, sir?
That you are building transit camp for them if they are not going?
I am not responsible for building them transit camp.
Have you asked the British to take them away, sir?
Yes, it is a British High Commissioner is here, his responsibility.
Yes.
I have told him.
You've said you wanted to teach Britain a lesson, President. Why is that?
And that is now lesson I am teaching the British. I am teaching now the lesson because I am correcting them from the mistake they had made. If they had think before earlier that there is an African here who can even work and building the railway with the instruction given to them by the British, this problem will not happen.
Isn't this going to end your friendship with Britain?
I don't mind ending. What are you giving me? What is more you are giving me? British actually deceived me last year, giving me £10 million. They never give up to now. When I had a really very critical problem of finance up to now. Now I don't want that man again. And now they have given, I think every year, 4.5 million every year. But this, even if they withdrawn or they take it away, it will not marking time Uganda even 1 minute. I must make this clear. But the British are my best friends.
I wish I understood that, actually.
Has been made about the export of...
Mecca and Medina should be today under the control of the Israelis. But because they lost the war in the first 5 days, they couldn't continue even further, and that is why it is stopped. But their aim is to capture Mecca and Medina. All the holy places all over the world should be controlled by the Israelis. This is their aim. I have got these books with me, and I am sure after we finish here, I will give you the copy of the book, but you read my copy today here, and you give it back to me, because it is if Israel find it, they will buy the whole copy, and they don't want the people in the world to see this book. I will give you, it is here.
What's the book?
It is a book of the Israelis, which is the teaching of the elders of the Israelis, of the Zionists. And as a doctor, you must be very clean, very smart. You behave very well like a person, and also you are not too drunk. You are the one who should advise the public. You should advise General Amin not to drink. This is very important. This is the most important, because if a public learn that you are a drunkard, automatically they lose confidence, and even they can say that if I am going to get operation by that doctor, he's a drunkard, he will not do anything good, and they will completely refuse. I am telling you sincerely, And it is true, I must be frank to you and I tell you this. Because also to drink and overdrunk, it is not very good. You will not even enjoy more. Because you will not even have sense. But if you drink very little, you feel very happy, very proud, and you talk to your people. That will be, I'm just advising you. I am fresh, strong, and I am concerned with the situation in Uganda.
But are you keeping track of the situation all the time? How do you manage that thousands of miles away?
I have all Ugandans at heart, and they keep me informed, and all Ugandans, except the only few, might be opposing me, but most of them, they love me, they pass their information to me, and they want me to save them from the chaos situation which is now happening in Uganda.
When you left Uganda last year, did you manage to bring out a lot of money? Are you one of these rich leaders who've gone into exile?
No, I am not rich. I am one of the poor leader in the world, and my intention is to work for my people, but not for me. That is the reason why you know that if you check all banks all over the world, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in the United States of America, you will never find account belong to me, because I work for the people of Uganda. I am a founder of the economic independence of Uganda.
Field Marshal Amin, a year ago, your army seemed to have been destroyed by the Tanzanians in Uganda. You disappeared. Now, why did your army do so badly? What happened?
I will say that my army, Air Force, and the Marine were not destroyed by the Tanzania. I am trained military officer by British, and in military tactics you can either fight the war, or if you think you will win later, you can tactically withdraw your force to the safe place, and then until you might make. After the capture of Kampala, they brought body and put there in state research. Nobody will know, because I will tell you that they found army. I withdrew the army before. I kept the army only engaging the enemy outside Kampala.
What about the murder of those? There were 4 journalists murdered about 10 days before the fall of Kampala, Europeans who came in from Kenya. I mean, what about that?
I don't know at all, and first time for me to hear from you. I don't know about them at all.
Well, another alleged crime involving the State Research Bureau was said to be Mrs. Dora Bloch, you know, the Israeli commando raid on Entebbe. They dug up her bones in the forest on the road to Ginger after liberation.
I don't know. I can't be Amin in Kampala or in Entebbe, and the same Amin is in Mauritius, outgoing current chairman of the Organization of African Unity 1976, and handing over. And when I came back, it was that is the time arriving, and that is the time was the Israel raid. And how can I be responsible? I know nothing about it completely, because as far as I know nothing about Dora Bloch.
Assassination, I mean, you've survived half a dozen assassination attempts?
I am not a person who is afraid of being assassinated, because I believe in God, and I know exactly when and how I will die. And this is secret. And that is why you find that I was the last man to withdraw from the battlefield. And this is according to the military history. The commander of the battle is the last man to withdraw. And I perform my duty as a commander.
Well, how did you get out of Uganda?
How I got it through my tactics. I can't tell you, but very bravely, and addressing everywhere, chaired by this population, because I was not overthrown. I was forced out of Uganda by the invading force, who are 6 times bigger than my army. And therefore, I cannot put my army to commit suicide. I'm very proud about British, because I am trained officer in British Army, in War Ministers, and I've been also to Camberley Staff College with the most top British high-ranking who actually fought very bravely, highly hero of 1945 Second World War. And therefore, I use British tactics, and I love the British very much. And I think any misunderstanding between me and the British is you, the journalists, because journalists can bring you up nicely in the world, and the journalists can destroy you. And therefore, the image of me and the friendship between me and the British was destroyed by the journalists. To the Arab, because Arab found that I am most influential leader in Africa, in the continent, and also I am a leader who speaks the truth.
Did your Muslim religion take part into your choice of the Arabs?
It is not because of the Muslim, because the people who broke relationship with Israel, they are not only Muslims, they are Christians, but they have seen the truth, and everybody listen for me. And even in OAU, if I don't speak, every leader try to ask why, and I must speak like in a non-aligned conference in Algeria. I was not feeling well, I did not speak, but 15 minutes before the conference closed, I was brought to come and give a speech. I gave very good speech, including Castro broke relationship with Israel after my speech.
Telegram sent to Mr. Kurt Waldheim, Permanent Secretary of the United Nations. Hitler and all the German people knew that the Israelis are not people who work in the interest of the people of the world, and that is why they burnt 6 million Jews alive with gas on the soil of Germany. This telegram was sent the day after the Munich killings. Some years before, General Amin had undergone, as had other Ugandans, paratroop training in Israel.
But I'm trained as a paratrooper in Israel. But I have got a very good brain, and even General Dayan knows that I am very good field officer.
You know Dayan very well?
I know him, and he has been my friend. He has been giving me dinner, luncheon in his house. If I go to Israel, I used to stay with Dayan. He brings Air Force band playing for me. We stay together. But I must make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt. That is the reason why I chased away the Israelis.
And you said you were friends with Golda Meir.
Yes, because she used to give me very good entertainment when I go to Israel.
Then you changed completely from an Israeli alliance to the Arab alliance.
I changed from Israeli alliance because Israeli are criminals. and they are not trusted people. They don't tell the world the truth. They were taken to Palestine as refugees, and then they changed Palestine to become a state of Israel by force of arms given to them by Americans and the British.
But is it true that you said Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the war?
Why do you ask me about Hitler? The Hitler's problem is now past tense. Now we are looking forward for the future generations and the future plan. We are no longer going back to Hitler's. You see, the war of Hitler, it was a different war than the war today. If I am to prepare the war against Israel completely, no, I don't want very many Army, Air Force and the Navy, just very few, and strike inside Israel and move people from the whole border towards Israel. I think the situation will be very difficult and very different.
To strike from inside with paratrooper or?
With the paratrooper, with everything completely. Yes, because you got to get there by paratrooper and also bombing by airplanes and having few squadron of suicide, these who are determined to be suicide, and I think that is already in progress and they are practicing. The suicide squadrons are already in practice, in progress. I think very many delegations meeting me now, preparing for this, and they come to conclusion. It is true. You will find it here, and this will change the time of battle, and we can command from here, not from the battlefield, but through communication.
And will there be Ugandans in those battalions?
I don't know, but any volunteer, even France, French volunteer, they are welcome also. But I welcome any volunteer all over the world. Even Japanese, even Vietnamese are there in these squadrons. But they are now in training. They are undergoing training now 3 months.